Hello, it's Mike Hendricks from the Ohio Golf Course Owners Association, and we're talking about the Ohio Golf Conference today, and we're with one of our big sponsors, SynaTek, and Nate Clemmer. So, Nate, I wanted you to hear it from me directly. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. As I've shared before, our members come to the conference for free. Two people from every golf course that's a member of the association get to come for free. So we have to have sponsors. There's no way around it for us. So you really are a big part of why we're able to make the conference happen. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. When you told me about the conference, Mike, it was a quick yes for me. So there was really no reservations. It sounds like it's going to be a terrific event.
Yeah, we're really excited about RSVPs already. We're pushing 100 now, and so I think we're gonna have a lot of great people in the room. You know, you say it was a quick decision for you, but I am interested why SynaTek Solutions, and we should get into who SynaTek is, but why SynaTek Solutions does sponsor the event. What are you looking to accomplish by being a sponsor?
Yeah, so as a business owner, my goal every day when I wake up is to help other people make money. And in turn, I hope that the people we're working with are good with us making some money. So we get up every day, help an owner make money. Hopefully that owner is also comfortable with us making some money. That's how we go to business, go to market. You know, being the cheapest price on a spreadsheet, we certainly can do that. That isn't what gives me energy. Normally, because we our customer is typically the superintendent. That's usually who we're talking to. We're not talking to the owner, the general manager, someone who's driving revenue. It's hard for me often to know, okay, well, what's really motivating this golf course? Because I'm not typically talking to the owners. So being able to be at this event, tell a little about who SynaTek is, but really more important for me, hear from owners, what their challenges are, where they see opportunities, and maybe where we can be supportive in the future.
Yeah, well, that is good. I mean, the environment of this conference is such that you're going to eat lunch with these guys and gals. You're going to see husbands and wives together that own the golf course will come to this thing, and it really is this day that they set aside where they want to have conversations with vendors. Sometimes they're going to be asking questions, right? They're going to want to know, well, how can you help my business? And if you kind of come at it from that same mindset, I can imagine those conversations will be, good conversations. I call them fruitful conversations. So I think that'll be good.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's really I travel a lot this time of year, and I don't always love everything I'm committed to doing, but that date is it's got a smiley face on my calendar. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. So tell us about SynaTek Solutions. I made a commitment to the board. We have a board up for the Ohio Golf Course Owners Association, and I made a commitment to them early on that this association was not just going to be about technology and marketing or something like that. That I felt the outside part of the business was incredibly important. If you don't have good playing services, it's hard to make money in golf. And so tell us about your place in golf and what you guys are trying to accomplish.
Yeah, so Cinetek's been in business for a little over 150 years, multi generation family business that at this point is just owned by me. I own the vast majority of the company. I've got a couple of minority partners, but we're based in Souderton, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 miles northwest of Philadelphia. We started as a feed mill 150 plus years ago. At that time, we were called Moyer and Son. It was a place where farmers would bring their grains to be stored and milled. We did that for about 100 years, and then roughly 50 years ago, chemical fertilizer became a thing. Chemical companies figured out how to get plants to grow faster. So they went to the feed mill operators because they knew the farmers owned that relationship and said, hey, we're going to teach you how to make fertilizer. So that was my grandfather's generation. And then when my dad came into the business, he ran the fertilizer part of what was then Moyer and Son, and they were serving farmers with fertilizers outside of Philadelphia. 25 years ago, the fertilizer business was selling more fertilizer to golf courses and lawn care than farms. And we were opening up fertilizer plants across the state of Pennsylvania, heading towards Ohio, kind of quote unquote chasing farms. And my dad decided at that point, you know what? We're going to sell the ag fertilizer side of the business, which they did, and just stick to, we'll call it non farm technologies. And at that point, renamed the company SynaTek. So that was a little over 20 years ago that SynaTek was born, but over 150 years ago was really where we all started. So based in Philadelphia, but have quickly grown. So I would say our core customer base is really from Virginia to Boston out to Chicago. And we have a warehouse on the kind of Pennsylvania, Ohio border, and we have a warehouse in the Michigan, Ohio border. So we're servicing Ohio golf courses and lawn care landscape companies from those geographies.
I know you guys recently put together an agreement with Husqvarna, and that's brought you into the robotics piece of the business, which I think is new for you all. But I tell you, there's a lot of excitement about robotics right now in golf. Talk about that. Is that something that you'll talk about at the conference?
Yeah, that'll be certainly be a big part of the conversations. I just came home from the Golf Course Superintendents Association meeting in Orlando. There was got to be a dozen different robotics companies out there. We chose Husqvarna specifically because they've been out in front. They were the world's first manufacturer of autonomous mowing technology. There's certainly others. If anybody's considering autonomous, I encourage people to kick the tires and consider other options. Where we really settled in on Husqvarna and where we really invested in the technology is because Husqvarna, unlike others, have set up exclusive dealer channel partners by geography. So if you're buying a Toro fairway mower or a John Deere fairway mower, you're unlikely to have more than one other option in the market you're in. So they sort of have regional exclusive dealers because they want those dealers to invest in service. Other robotics companies may have 3 or 4 dealers in a market that are selling chainsaws by day and trying to sell autonomous mowers, secondarily to a golf course. So Husqvarna has given us the exclusive region, which is basically Virginia to the New Jersey, New York border out to just short of Chicago. So that's really allowed us to invest in service and putting people on the ground that understand these technologies. We've had really good success in Ohio, but we're really just skimming the surface.
Yeah, and so that's a good point. You do have Ohio customers. I actually think you have Ohio customers that are even in the association, but you're just looking to deepen your Ohio roots, so to speak, and just grow the business in the Buckeye State.
Yeah, and our company tagline is people powered, solutions driven. So my dad's been retired for a little over 10 years. And when he retired, I was like, I need to brand this company to be kind of who I am. Before our tagline was the turf solutions people. I'd like to think that we're a little bit bigger thinkers than turf solutions people. So I spent a lot of time just thinking in as few words as possible, who are we? So our tagline now is people powered, solutions driven. So we've really built this company around hiring super smart, hardworking people who have super high integrity and then treating them like super smart, hardworking people with high levels of character. So it really starts with the people. And then on the solution side, I love helping people solve problems, ideally problems they never even knew they had. Just how can we help somebody solve a problem? And so in our business, to golf courses, prior to us taking on a focus on autonomous, we would sell, roughly 25% of a golf course's maintenance spend. Fert, chem, seed, roughly 25% of the total maintenance budget. And then that would be it. Now with autonomous, we're stepping into the equipment side, which is roughly another 25%. The last roughly 50% is labor. And with an autonomous, we're able to get into the labor conversation. For some courses, the labor is, I can't find good people. The H-2B thing is up in the air and I've been doing that. So I need help with labor. For other people, it's, I can't get to the higher value activities on the job, such as raking bunkers or rolling greens or repairing divots, because my guys are all out cutting roughs because it's rained for 4 days straight. And so autonomous allows those talented human resources to do what I would describe as higher value activities. But the point in that is we get to start having conversations with golf courses about their entire maintenance spend and how we can come alongside, improve playability, increase profitability. And we really think, going back to what I said earlier, I get out of bed in the morning to help people make money, and hopefully those people are decent enough to allow me to make some money and feed the people that work here.
Yeah, yeah. I think that what part of the idea or the conversation around autonomous is if I'm an owner operator, I'm struggling literally just to find labor. And so I think that's where autonomous gets really interesting just to me personally is, well, now you maybe don't need to find as much labor. And I think that's what you were saying, but sometimes people just think of like, oh, it might create cost savings. I actually think it starts to fill labor gaps that where you just couldn't find heads to do the jobs you needed to get done.
Yeah, and that, it always seems like people are one person short. And so that one person that you're short, when you find that one person, it always seems like that one person is the one that keeps turning over. So you spend the entire season trying to fill that one spot. And robotics, certainly take that pressure off. The last thing I ever want to do is see someone lose a job over automation. But reality is most people are struggling to find people, not necessarily looking
That's
to
right.
release people.
Yeah.
I think, it's a superintendent's job is very, very difficult. I say all the time, it's the toughest job that I've ever seen. I mean, there's just 100 things that are make it a challenge. And I really believe that autonomous is a way that a superintendent can take some pressure off them. Coming into work every day, knowing that certain tasks have already been taken care of, maybe allows that superintendent to sleep better at night, get some time with his wife and kids and whatever else. And so that's another reason why I'm really passionate about the autonomous space is the quality of life component for golf course superintendents.
Yes, that's good. I know the PGA of America, it talks a lot right now about work-life balance, so that will certainly resonate as well. Now, you mentioned people, Nate. Will you bring other people from your team to the conference?
Yeah, so definitely bring some people from our team to the conference. So we really separate our team in terms of what we would call soft goods, people that are selling fert, chem, seed, and then we've got robotics managers. And so we'll make sure all the people on both sides that and they work together, but we'll make sure everybody that represents SynaTek in that market in those roles will certainly be there. I'll be there. I'm not there to sell anything. We're not there to sell anything. My hope is I can learn really about where can we come alongside. We think the autonomous thing is only gaining traction. Husqvarna, in my opinion, is the market leader. There's some others that I think have really good technologies as well. But I really think I tell our team, like, we don't really know who's going to win the robotics arms race. Like, it's sort of out of our control. We don't have engineers designing robots, but what we can control is us, our company, SynaTek, being the best in the market at providing the support and the service that customers can rely on us for. That's within our control. So I'm
Yes.
there to learn. But Husqvarna's goal is that by the year 2030, an entire golf course maintenance operation would be able to be done autonomously. So that's raking bunkers, that's cutting greens, that's rolling greens, cleaning up leaves, like you name it. Seems fairly aspirational. I'm not sure that they get there, but these guys are smart. Instant.
A conversation the other day about raking bunkers, and that there could be a day where bunkers are raked autonomously in between player groups,
Yeah.
and the player doesn't rake as much as he or she is accustomed to raking today.
At that golf show I was at, there was, I think, at least one, if not two companies that were not Husqvarna that had a bunker rake robot. And
Yes.
my experience has been we've said no to other opportunities for other robotics companies to stay with Husqvarna. We're not contractually obligated. I just believe that a robot looks a certain way at a trade show. You can talk about it all you want, but until it's working on your course and it's not glitching and it's not creating other problems, it's just a paperweight at a trade show.
And
Yeah,
like I said, we've seen it applied across Ohio already. So hopefully our owners and operators that meet with you, they'll have an opportunity to talk to other owners and operators that are maybe already using it. That's part of the reason you come to a conference like this, right? You do want to hear from a vendor, but you also want to hear from an operator that's already using the tech. And so hopefully we can make that happen and provide a lot of value for everybody that's there.
absolutely. I can't wait.
Okay, so it's March 3rd at Westbrook Country Club, Mansfield, Ohio, and we even have a conference workshop on March 2nd if people want to come in a day early and go through a workshops. The event continues to grow, Nate, and you've been a big part of helping us get there, so I really do appreciate it.
We're excited.
All right, we'll see you in Mansfield, Ohio, on March 3rd. Nate Clemmer from SynaTek Solutions. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Have a great day.